Hi and welcome to this week's episode of Magoos Corner. I'm your host Trevor Gregg, having a look at Division 1 reserves, and after 5 rounds we have 3 teams sharing top spot, only separated by just that one game, which is the draw to Tea Tree Gully, sitting on 4-0 with the draw. Prince Alfred 4-1, sharing that with Goodwood Saints. Unley Mercedes Jets on 3-1 with the draw also. Adelaide Uni's taking out 5th position with 3-2, just the one game over Henley at the moment. And having a look at it after the 5 games, Henley are not that much different when it comes to percentage, so they've had the same sort of scores kicked against them as they have, so they've been a little bit consistent. Salisbury North sitting in 7th on 1-3, same as Port Districts with having the draw each. And this one's quite surprising, with Payneham Norwood Union in 9th position, 1 win, 4 losses. And Rostrevor, again, another big surprise. 0 wins, 5 losses, 33%. Only 200 points in the positive for them, 403 in the red. So after seeing them last year and reading through about them in years previous, that is a massive surprise. For me, absolutely massive surprise. So let's have a look at the first game. Goodwood Saints and Adelaide Uni at a Goodwood Oval. And it was one that I did call. Adelaide Uni 8-9-57 to Goodwood Saints 7-7-49. Goodies in their A grade getting the win though, which is good to see for the division. Good with 3, Schiller with 3 and a Levy kicked 1. Pressler, Baker and Champ were the better players for the Saints. And for Adelaide Uni, Hewish with 3, Dolan with 2 and Murdoch. Biggs, Morn and Pittman were the better players. So that's a nice win to go to Goodwood's Oval, take them on and come away with a win. So that's great news for Adelaide Uni. Next game, most of the games actually in this division this week, or the week just gone, were rather close. There was only a couple there that went above and beyond the 30-35 point range. This one here was Henley and Rostrevor. So Henley currently sitting in 6th position. They got 10-10-70 to Rostrevor 3-7-37, 5-7-37. Sorry. Lodge with 3, Francis and Sheepers. The best players were Howlett, Graham and Martin there for the Sharks, and for Rostrevor, Havisham with 2. Richter with a couple, and Kitson and Versace, Kitson and Williamson were the better players there for the Rockers. Unley Mercedes Jets took on Tea Tree Gully. Now this is another draw that we've had, and one that got away from Tea Tree Gully. 8-13-61 to Unley Mercedes Jets 9-7-61. So let's have a look at the quarter breakdown. 3-5-23 to 2-2-14 for in the positive for Tea Tree Gully. They kicked 1 goal 5 in the second quarter, 1 goal 1 in the third, and then it was 3 goals 2 in the last quarter. So Unley's really tried to peg them back in the third quarter after kicking only 1 goal in the second. So they were only 6-6. It was 6-6 in front of 5-11. 1 point to the positive for Unley, and then it was just in the end, it was just too much to go by. They couldn't get the job done, and that's one that got away from Tea Tree Gully. So at Kingswood Oval, you'd be ruining the loss. But looking at that one, we've got Ineson with 3, Maxted with 2, and Davenport, Spiniello, Moss and Nima were the better players there for the Jetters. And goal kickers for Tea Tree Gully, Daniels, Cochran with 2 with Schilling, Pobke, Mather and Dow were the best players out there for Tea Tree Gully. So will that one hurt them later on in the year? Well, only time will tell. So next game, Prince Alfred and Port Districts out at Park 9. 10-14-74, Prince's 2 Dizzies was 4-5-29. Looking in the first quarter, it was 1 goal 4 to 2 goal 2. Districts getting away, only kicking 1 point in the second quarter. So that's where it sort of started. Only kicking 2 goals 2 for the rest of the game from half-time onwards. That was it. So they ended up only really doubling their score for the whole game. And then looking at Prince's, kicked 4 goals in the second, 3 in the third, and then 2 goals, 3 in the last. So they just had a consistent game. Probably would have liked to have kicked a little bit more, I would have thought, but Johnson with 2, Miller and Big Rusty Martinez with 1. Pryor, Johnson, Brashannon Hill were the better players. And for Prince's, Skier with 3, Prest with 2, Young and Fowlis. Better players were Potch, Latfords, Holmes, Hugo Courier and Skier. So that's a nice win and a good one that we like to see. Now, the last game of the round, which was Payneham Norwood Union at Payneham Oval, hosted Salisbury North. It's always a tough ask, but it was 6-7-43 to Salisbury North, 12-15-87. Kutlarkis with 5, Vasari with 3, and McBride with a couple there for the Hawkers, and their better players were Lawler, Kutlarkis and Barton. And Paynham, Edsel, Costanzo, George Costanza, Lynch and Highland were all one apiece, and Darrington, Chatsagiannis, Highland, Nelson and Marotti were the better players. So let's have a look at what's happening next week. Ros Trevor and Unley Mercedes Jets. So Unley sitting in 4th, Ros Trevor dead last on no wins, and again, big surprise, out of Campbelltown Oval. I don't think it's going to change for Ros Trevor. Like to see it change for him, but their depth is definitely getting tested. But Unley Mercedes Jets quite convincingly for me. Port Districts and Henley at Largs Reserve. Henley, it's not, I wouldn't say hope, but Henley will belt Districts. Prince Alfred and Goodwood Saints, this is going to be a good game actually. We were saying that with the 2nd versus 3rd, obviously their 2's doing a little bit better than their A grade, but for me, at home, Prince Alfred Park 9. Tea Tree Gully and Paynham Norwood Union, fair rivalry between these two clubs, much like they're with their A grade. So this is where the first amateur league game that will be called live will be out at this oval on this weekend. And again, as I've said over the previous weeks, make sure you have a chat to your clubs, to your committee members, and ask them to get in touch with the producer and the team to get them to come out and call the games live. So it's a fantastic idea. Tea Tree Gully and Paynham, Tea Tree Gully top spot, Paynham sitting in 9th. It's going to be a tough day for Paynham in their B grade. Tea Tree Gully by 10 goals plus for me. Salisbury North and Adelaide Uni. Salisbury North sitting in 7th, Adelaide Uni sitting in 5th. Hard task going out to Salisbury North Oval. In an upset, I'm going to tip Salisbury North to get over Uni, but it won't be a big loss for Adelaide Uni at all. So once again, make sure you subscribe to the SA Footballer magazine. We thank our sponsors and the Portland Hotel for all their support, and we'll catch you again next week.